From mansion purchases to luxury vehicles and jewelry, XXXTentacion was on his way to being one of the richest rappers of all time. Within 3 years, he went from being consistently in and out of jail to being well worth over $12 million at the time of his passing. Starting out with his famous BMW i8, X was constantly seen driving around in this blacked out sports car around the streets of Florida. It was his daily driver, and he even had to show everyone what he has been working so hard for. The vehicle itself costed X $140,000. It also tops out at 155 miles per hour while accelerating to 60 in just 3.8 seconds. It was the perfect car to fit X's past lifestyle. Not to mention the unique design of the ride also got the attention of everyone around him, which led to X always taking photos with fans. XXXTentacion has also bought multiple other luxury rides as well, just like his beautiful Mercedes G-Wagon that he purchased for $110 grand. Being a large body SUV, the G-Wagon was one of X's favorite rides. Whenever he didn't feel like going fast, he'd take out the G-Wagon as it makes for a much more comfortable ride while also looking very unique and high class on the road. But weirdly enough, the next vehicle he would go on to purchase was a massive Sprinter van that he used for moving things around during a vlog. Whether he needed it for traveling with the people around him, or if it was just picking up items at a Best Buy for one of his famous YouTube vlogs, XXXTentacion wanted to make sure that he always had enough room. During the vlog, he loaded it up with consoles, TVs, and other goods just to help out the youth in his area. He was doing his best to turn around his image and to become a much more positive influence. However, donating to his community wasn't only the people that he helped, because family meant a lot to XXXTentacion, which is why with his first big check, he gifted his mom a Mercedes-Benz that he bought off the dealership lot for 90 grand. However, while purchasing the Mercedes for his mother, he would also end up seeing 2 Chevy Camaros for 90 grand at the showing. So he would go on to purchase both of them and then show them off on social media. I can pay mama house payment. I can pay the mortgage, baby. God. The Camaros themselves are very speedy. Just like the i8, they both reach up speeds up to 180 miles an hour. X liked more than just cars because he also purchased motorcycles as well. From his famous 3-wheeled motorcycle, he was spotted out driving this very often in public. He was also spotted driving multiple Harley Davidsons that he owned, as one time a fan even caught him struggling to even ride the motorcycle. Now, it's without a doubt the success that he had before his passing, he was going to look out for his family no matter what. But one of the biggest things that he did was set them all up for life by buying a massive $3.4 million mansion for his mom and family in all cash. Right before his passing, he was working out the ownership details of the mansion. But sadly, after his passing, the ownership didn't transfer until August of 2018 to his mother, meaning that XXXTentacion never made it to see his mom owning and living her dream home. But the 15,000 square foot mansion features a ton of things for his family that they are extremely grateful for. From 6 bedrooms around the house and a beautifully designed interior, the home also features a basketball court out back, a swimming pool, and a home theater with soundproofing walls. It also features a ton of marble in the stairs and just around the home in general. Even the front side of the home features a large circular driveway, as well as a balcony that wraps around the front of the home. As a reminder, the mansion was bought in all cash, meaning that X's mom and the rest of his family is living here without a mortgage. Goes to show you how nice and generous of a man XXXTentacion truly was. Even before buying this house for his mom, he also bought his own dream home nearly 1 year prior for $1.4 million, featuring another backyard swimming pool amongst a huge grassy area surrounding the home, to a very large living room with a massive TV, a walkout glass doors to the backyard, as well as having a personal gym inside. This was just down the hall from the massive master bedroom that X had. The house was also great for guest rooms for family to come over, as well as a seating area in the backyard that was covered with the roof of the home. It was his dream home. He mentioned it multiple times during Instagram Lives. Unfortunately, he didn't get to spend as much time as he should have inside of the beautiful mansion. Moving away from the two incredible properties that he purchased, X also owned loads of jewelry. He didn't show the entire collection off on social media, so I will. He purchased multiple Cuban link chains. These are lined with diamonds as well as VVS diamonds. Then next to his encrusted diamond grill, once again VVS diamonds around the entire face of the grill, costing him 50 grand. Other than that, the jewelry collection of X wasn't ever shown much to the public, although he owned multiple Rolexes as a way of investing his money as they hold its value. As sadly, the rest of his jewelry collection was actually stolen from him on the day that he sadly passed. On June 18th, 2018, XXXTENTACION was looking to add to his motorcycle collection, driving over to Riva Motorsports, speaking with a dealer who would go on to tell XXXTENTACION that they do cash deals for new motorcycles. This led to X calling his mother, telling her the news of the new bike he wants to buy. She then told them to swing back to the mansion, pick up his uncle before driving to go buy it. X did just that, picking up his uncle, then heading over to the Bank of America to withdraw $250,000. Teller ultimately gave X $50,000 in cash, and he ordered a further $200,000 for a later date. X would stuff the $50,000 in a Louis Vuitton duffel bag, then going right back to his BMW out in the parking lot. However, unknown to X was four men sitting there scoping out his all-black BMW i8. Once they realized who was driving it, they immediately began tailing him all the way back to Riva Motorsports. With X entering the parking lot and going into Riva, it wasn't more than 2 minutes later when two of the suspects got out of their car across the street and followed him inside. They began wandering around the store and even walked straight past X himself. X, as well as the suspects, would lock eyes inside of Riva, as the suspects would go on to purchase ski masks and gloves inside of the same store that they were going to rob him at. These four men were just broke and desperate for money, and they also weren't the brightest, obviously. With XXXTENTACION continuing to look at motorcycles, he decides he no longer wants one. He then leaves the store with his uncle, going into his BMW. Sadly, X would sit inside of his vehicle for 5 minutes and park. This gave the two suspects inside of the store enough time to leave Riva, sprint across the street to the other two suspects that are scoping out his car. As soon as X decides to leave the parking lot of Riva, the suspects then pull right in front of X's BMW and block him from leaving. Two men then hop out of the vehicle to each side of the BMW, holding firearms, demanding him to roll his windows down, give up the bag of money as well as his diamond chain. X refuses, making the men more angry. With everybody panicking and everyone yelling at X, his uncle would then open up the passenger side door and he would sprint away from X and go back into Riva, leaving XXXTENTACION all alone against two suspects with firearms. The second man would then go into the passenger side door, which is wide open, rips all of the money from XXXTENTACION, steals the Louis Vuitton bag, the $50,000, and even tries snatching his diamond chain. All while the other man sitting at X's window would use his firearm, which would then obviously cause what we all know. The four men involved in the case would then later be recognized as Michael Boatwright, Dedrick Williams, Trayvon Newsom, and Robert Allen. All four of them being put inside of jail for life, other than Robert Allen, who would end up snitching in the court case, giving everyone the information we needed to know about X. The passing of XXXTENTACION took the entire rap world upside down. We saw multiple rappers share their thoughts on X and his legacy, as Juice WRLD would go on to share his friendship with X.
We had a couple deep conversations, talked on the phone a few times. He had nothing but positive stuff to say. For real, for real. We had respect for each other at the end of the day. And that's what was gonna kind of lead into a friendship. He just said, make sure to keep all negative people out of your life. and just make sure that you have the energy around you pretty much.
Even X's best friend Ski Mask reminisced on the old times and how they came up in the rap game.
I met X in juvenile jail. Both was in juvenile jail, spending time. Then we just was like, yeah, we need an outlet to just stop getting in trouble. All we like to do is hit licks and like do hit. So long story short, so it's just like, alright, we need to find something to do. So he was like in there just beating on the tables, because all you can really do is sit there and stare at each other. So we sitting there beating on the chairs and stuff, and then we just like figured out each other could rap, and then we just like helped each other.
Another collaborator of X on a few songs would be Trippie Redd, who expressed their friendship in a new interview.
I was going to Miami to do several shows, and I performed in Orlando, and then I performed in Miami with X. Ever since I had met bro, we had just became like super cool friends. And now that's my best friend, I can say.
And even one of X's closest friends, Denzel Curry, would go on to share his thoughts on X's legacy.
There was different eras of X, like black hair era, like when he just had regular hair. When I met him, you know, he was just coming up, just doing his thing, just coming up, just making music. You know what I mean? I had the blonde and black era, when he had the half blonde, half black hair. And that's when, you know, when all the crazy stuff started happening with the allegations, with, you know, the trial, the shows. Then it went to the transition where white hair X, where he first got the tree in the middle of his forehead. That was like his evolving state. Then it went to Indigo X. He described it as Indigo X when we talked. The last time we talked, he said the reason why he changed his hair, and he just felt like he understood how it was being a bad person and how easy it was.